key message of the declaration that we've been putting together in the last 2 or 3 days is to mobilize the Muslim community worldwide and get them to change their lifestyles and to start an education process that will be effective for both for the present and the future.
Well, the importance of declaration is to tell the world, to tell the United Nations, to tell the world that Islam and Muslims are part of the solution, are involved in the salvation of the world and the salvation of the earth for our children and our grandchildren. We in Islamic Relief, we've been asked, why are you so interested in climate change? Being a humanitarian organization, the largest Muslim independent nonprofit in the world, working in 40 countries, serving 10 million people every year. Well, our job is to save lives and to make lives better. If we do not save the earth, there will not be a place for lives to live, for human beings to live on. The United Nations tells us that this year is the last year for mankind to save the earth. Otherwise, the changes are going to be irreversible, very difficult to change, and we're going to be leaving much worse earth for our children and grandchildren. So they are meeting this year in December in Paris. We are meeting now in August in Istanbul to send it to the world and to go there and say, we Muslims are with you. We are part of the solution, the 1.7 billion Muslims and Islamic Relief in particular, our great organization. We are going to promise all of you that we're going to work so hard and anywhere where we have influence to make a difference and to help save the world.
Climate change is probably going to be the most pervasive challenge that the whole world is facing, and Muslims are not immune to it. We contribute 25% of the global population, and we need to change behavior amongst that 25%. It is going to be the driver of conflict, migration, and poverty. And therefore, a declaration from the Muslim community on climate change is absolutely crucial in creating the basis for behavior change amongst us, for dialogue with other faiths and other communities, and with an ability for Islam to speak with a clarity that the Quran has on all of these matters of climate change, environment, and development. And so the declaration is an elaborate way of calling all Muslims to action, and I would want to amplify that call for Muslims to join the battle against climate change and for a new reality for all creation in this world.
The Islamic Climate Declaration is a huge step towards our community around the world taking action on climate change. Islamic Relief Worldwide is calling on Muslims around the world to do whatever they can to mobilize their communities, to take action and to be a part of the global campaign and movement ahead of Paris. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has made the earth green and beautiful, and He has appointed you as His stewards. Join Muslims for Climate around the world as we call on world leaders to do more and to make firm commitments.
More than 1 billion Muslims around the globe already suffer from climate change. Their leaders need to know that these people need action. As the Khalifa upon this earth, this declaration from our Muslim scholars on climate change is very important in trying to build that climate action for our Muslim Ummah. And people from other faiths are going to support our Muslim brothers and sisters in trying to implement this climate action. Green faith are supporting this declaration of climate change from the Muslims for a better world.
The Lutheran World Federation very much welcomes this Islamic Declaration on climate change and its timely publication a few months ahead of the decisive climate change conference that's going to happen in Paris at the end of the year. We receive with great interest the invitation of the declaration to strengthen interfaith collaboration on climate. Indeed, we believe as LWF that religion is not a stumbling block, but a building block for a more sustainable, just and peaceful world.
The ecological crisis is a spiritual crisis. It is signaling to us that we need to have spiritual evolution from egoism to altruism.
Young people are going to be most affected by the changing climate. We have to rise up and demand change for our own future and the future of the world.